I was like,
Way more. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Jameson, and I'm really excited about sharing the prospect, even just the idea of doing a yoga teacher training together. So, welcome.
my name is Kelly, and I feel the same. It's really cool to have many of you as regular students of mine, so to see you here interested in potentially going on this journey is really cool. For me, yoga is life. I know that's like cheesy to say, but it really does provide me a structure of like guidelines to live from. So it's a lifestyle. It's not just a practice of the physical asana. And again, a lot of you have taken practice with me. So you know, because I'm usually trying to bring in some philosophy in addition to just the biomechanics of what we're doing. It's something that allows me to make more meaning out of my time here, which is really short, and so I want to make it as meaningful as possible. What about you?
I really think about yoga as a lens through how I view the world. It's kind of given me a viewpoint, kind of like when you pull off on one of those vistas and it's like, look here at the beautiful view. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm glad that I stopped to take a moment just to look so that I can see what's out there. It really helps me be mindful and present with the things that are happening. The yoga philosophy helps me to make understanding because, as Kelly said, I am a scientist, and that's great for the things that I can see and feel and touch and measure, but the things that I know exist are true that I can't record with any kind of an instrument. This is what yoga helps me to understand. More of the subtle, metaphysical aspects of the world that I know in my heart and believe to be true because I experience them every single day. It's more than just yoga teacher training. Really, I think I want to put the emphasis on advanced studies because it's more encompassing.
I think if you want to, of course, deepen your practice, it's a good idea. If you want to learn more about yoga philosophy and history, it's a good idea. If you want to have something that will help you just in your own personal growth. If you want to build confidence, I think it will help you, because even if you're coming in and you're saying, there's no way I'm going to teach, but I really want to do the advanced study thing, like that's me, you know, which is totally cool. That's a great place to be. You will still be practice teaching from like day one. And that doesn't mean that you'll end up using that to teach to one or even a group of people, but there is something that happens when you go to use your voice in that kind of way, and you take, I don't know if this is like a hot word for anyone, but when you move into more of like an authority role, like I actually, like I know, or I'm learning how to like say something with confidence. It is really, really powerful. Hey, maybe that's you will be able to speak your truth to just the people in your own inner circles in a way that helps you stay in your own integrity a little bit more. If you are like, hey, I just want to be more in alignment with who I am, and I want to learn some tools to help me self-reflect and like live as integrous of a life as possible, then you're going to get the opportunity and you're going to get a bunch of tools that will hopefully just like spark a little flame, and then you can turn that into like your big bonfire of life.
Let's light the fire.
Let's light the fire, baby.
Fire is a force of nature that changes things, transforms, and really, when I think about teacher training, it is about transformation. So it is 100% about coming in one way and then leaving another. So much so that we have to caution and request that people do not quit their jobs or leave their significant others in the middle of it.
Don't blow up your life and try to do teacher training. Blow it up after.
Please wait until after. I mean, it's funny, but this is through experience. We've seen this happen. And so now we actually ask like, hey, please wait until we're out of it, because part of this journey is reflecting. It's becoming very introspective, and it's becoming curious about yourself and your practices and your friends and these are all beautiful things to ponder and question and reflect. And out of these questions and through the rigor of the practice, you will come out the other side and you'll want to keep some things, you'll want to let go of some things. But in the middle of the training, in the 4 months that we spend together, we really just want to hold a reflective space that doesn't institute any changes. That way the transformations that are occurring internally are really the ones that are going to last, and we're not trying to change a bunch of things in our external world just because we feel uncomfortable, because all of a sudden we're seeing ourselves so clearly in a way that we haven't, and we do. I mean, we started this whole informational meeting with a prompt to get to know each other and to learn about each other. And this is mindfulness, it's inquisition, it's becoming curious. And we will shine this lens, we will provide an opportunity for you to turn that inward. And the product of that is deep, deep, deep transformation. Hopefully we're presenting that this is a rigorous training with a lot of introspection, which means that it's not necessarily for everyone, but it is for anyone who is willing to take that step, to take a risk, to look at themselves, and to almost journey into the unknown of what we're going to discover. And to do that, there requires desire to want to grow, a desire to transform, because we really are. We're trying to offer transformation through this teacher training. And if you don't want to change, then this training probably isn't for you, because I think you will.
Also, anyone who wants to build in community of like-minded people, and not only with the cohort of whoever you're training with, or even people at Tower Yoga, but the yoga community at large, ones that exist or don't even exist, because maybe there's a community that you want to serve that is underserved, and that department could heal and benefit from the practice of yoga and these teachings. So I think someone who is community-oriented. There are 8 limbs of yoga. There's one thing, though, that is unspoken. There's a yoga studio in Morro Bay called 9th Limb, and I like that. And her 9th limb is very focused on community. And I think that is that connection and the community of people is sort of like the container that I do believe holds the other 8 limbs. So I think anyone who wants to build community or have an offering to give to their community.
Well, we'll practice yoga, a lot of yoga.
Asana, the postures.
Yeah, we'll practice lots of yoga asana. We will look at postures, so we'll break down many of the main postures in a way that will give you time to have instruction and then feel them in your body, and then also looking at each other and being able to analyze what are these shapes that we're making, and taking our time to slow down and to feel them and to see them to gain a deeper understanding.
Studying the postures. So we'll also go over different breathing techniques. We'll go through different meditation techniques. We will get into some of the science, but also the metaphysical, energetics of yoga, subtle energy, the chakras.
Yeah, so yoga philosophy, and it's a huge portion. Every weekend we'll dedicate a workshop to yoga philosophy. We'll talk about the 8 limbs, which she already mentioned. We'll get into the Yoga Sutras, the Bhagavad Gita. These are various texts that provide us opportunity to think differently, to read a different way of thinking, and to shake up our own way of thinking. This is the purpose of philosophy, is so that we can be exposed to different types of thinking in order to not just be so entrenched in the way that we think. Other things we'll do, we'll teach. Kelly mentioned, we'll teach from day one. We'll teach every single day in every single block. There's yoga, yoga asana, meditation, pranayama, a workshop. Workshops have the philosophy, class sequencing, class structure, class design, and student teaching. So we want to provide an opportunity for you all to transform 100%. That's going to happen. But also, I feel a personal responsibility that you have the skills once you finish our training to guide a group teaching a 60-minute yoga class. This is one of my personal goals, is that you know how to teach a yoga class, because I don't think the emphasis in every teacher training is necessarily on offering that skill to people, and I think it's very important, and I really want to make sure that you feel confident when you're done. You're like, wow, that kicked my butt, I grew a lot, and I can teach yoga. Whether you want to teach yoga or not, rigorous training is what I want to offer, immersion style, where when we're in, that's all we're doing. And so it is designed in a modular format where each module is the same. They're all 5 hours. You have one Friday afternoon. You have 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. So it's 3 to 8 p.m. Friday. It's 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you do the math, those are a lot of numbers, but it's 5 hours on Friday, 10 hours on Saturday, 10 hours on Sunday. So there's a 2-hour lunch in between. But this allows us to dive into the immersive experience every single time. So we show up, we meet, we practice yoga, we do asana lab, we have a workshop, and then we practice teach, and then we close and we go home. And so you get 5 opportunities to every single weekend to practice yoga, to learn the postures, to dive into something in depth, to practice and to reflect and move on. So 5 modules every weekend. There are 6 weekends. So it's 1 weekend on, 2 weekends off, 1 weekend on. There's 6 weekends. That's 150 hours of training. You've got the other 50 hours to do online, where you'll be doing a 20-hour philosophy on the Yoga Sutras, a 20-hour biomechanics on yoga anatomy, and then 10 hours of posture lab to supplement the posture labs that we are doing actually in person. It will happen here in the Lotus Room, and we want to limit it to at most 24 people. So we want to keep the group limited to something that Kelly and myself can give enough time and energy to all the students, and that provides the students lots of time for interaction. And so the way that we have priced this is it's a $500 deposit will save your spot, and then the total cost of the training is $4,000. And I'm not doing any early birds or this, that, or the other. That is the cost, and it's paid in full by the beginning of the training. And so we can work out some kind of a plan if you want to start now, finish later, but I just want to keep it very direct, real simple. It's $4,000, paid in full by the beginning of training. What that includes is the 150 hours in person from Kelly, myself, and then we also have Farron, who teaches at the studio, who will be assisting us. We have all of your materials, so all of the books, your manual, your posture diagram. We promise to bring flowers before every weekend, so that'll be Kelly's job.
I usually have some snacks too.
Yeah, flowers, snacks, water, all of that good stuff. And then the graduation party at the very end of it, where on the last day of the training, we're all in here and we get to celebrate and reflect and just have a good time and feel proud of what we've done.
It also includes that online portion that you will have access to, that you can look back on.
The investment is an investment to yourself. You're investing in developing skills. You're investing in education. You're investing in growing, in challenging yourself, in, I'm gonna say it again, transforming. This investment plugs, it pours directly into you, and you get out of it what you put into it, showing up, fed, slept, ready to go, and really making the most of the time and the energy that you're putting in. I can tell you right now, I've never regretted any money that I have ever spent on yoga training. And between Kelly and I, we've done a fair amount. Yeah, and it's always, and we continue to this day. So I like to encourage students or prospective students where cost is an issue, decide first. Decide first. Even if you don't know how you're gonna do it, make the decision. I feel like it's a very common quote, but I said it earlier today to someone on the phone. I don't know if they actually knew what I was talking about. But there's this Paulo Coelho quote from The Alchemist, and he says, "The universe conspires to give you what you want." And so make the decision first, figure it out later. And if you work in that order, then everything is going to fall into place as it needs to, and it will happen with a lot less stress than, maybe it won't, I don't know. But I think if you want to do teacher training, make the decision, come talk to us, let us know, I am in, let's do this, and then everything else that you need to set up and figure out in order for you to get to that starting line, to get to that point, to get to the very first day of training with us, it's all gonna happen. Those details will really work themselves out one way or another, but you wanna tell the universe, hey, I'm ready. This is for me. I wanna transform, I'm ready to grow, and I'm gonna make it happen.
If you feel called, if you feel it in your bones, let's go. Let's do it. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And we would love to be a part of your journey. If what we've said here makes sense to you, if you feel good in our presence, then we're happy to have you.